All right, let's be honest about something most people who won't say out loud. A lot of us don't build relationships. We actually audition for them. We don't walk in as ourselves. We walk in asking, "Do you like me? Am I enough? Will you choose me?" So we adjust, we perform, we become whatever we think's going to get us picked. And it doesn't just happen in dating. It happens in marriage, in friendships, at work, even at church. Now, you're not living, you're trying to be chosen. And the problem is when your whole life is built around being chosen, you stop choosing anything that actually matters. Now, let's name this problem clearly. Here's the truth most people never say. Trying to be chosen will quietly destroy your life because it puts your identity in someone else's hands. Now, instead of asking what's right, what's true, what kind of man do I want to be, you start asking what will keep them here? What will make them happy? What do I need to do so they won't leave? The truth is, that's not love, that's fear. And it leads to three things. You're going to lose your voice, you'll lose your boundaries, and you'll lose your direction. And eventually, you're going to lose your respect, not just from them, but from yourself. So, why is this happening? This doesn't come out of nowhere. Most men who live like this learned it early. You might have learned approval equals safety, rejection equals danger. And maybe it was. A parent had you to please a relationship you didn't want to lose, a moment where being yourself cost you something. So you made a quiet decision. I'll become who I need to be so I don't get rejected again. And it works at first. You get accepted, you get relationships, you avoid conflict. But the cost is hit because every time you abandon yourself to be chosen, you reinforce the belief the real me isn't enough. So what does it cost you? Let's talk about where this actually leads, because it doesn't lead to peace. It leads to exhaustion. You're always managing how you're perceived, always reading the room, always adjusting, and over time, something builds. It's resentment because deep down, you know they don't actually know me. They only know the version of you that stayed agreeable. That's easy, that's safe. And here's the hard truth. People don't respect what they didn't have to earn. If you're always available, always accommodating, always agreeable, you don't become more valued, you become more invisible. The truth shifts the head and the heart. So let's reset this. You were not created to be chosen by everyone. You were created to walk in truth. Galatians 1:10 says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." Now that's not harsh, that's freeing. Because it means you don't have to perform anymore. You don't have to shapeshift to be accepted. You don't have to earn your place by abandoning yourself. Real relationships don't come from being chosen. They come from mutual alignment. You choose, they choose. And if that doesn't match, you don't shrink. You move on. Now, how do you actually start changing this? Not in theory, in real life. The first thing is catch the moment you start performing. Pay attention to when you shift. You soften what you really think. You avoid saying what needs to be said. You agree just to keep the peace. That's the moment, not later. Right there. Second thing is tell the truth in small ways. You don't need a dramatic speech. Start simple. Just say, I don't agree with that. That doesn't work for me. I need some time to think about that. Truth builds strength. Silence builds resentment. The third thing is stop over explaining yourself. When you're trying to be chosen, you explain everything. Why you said no, why you feel that way, why you need space. You don't need a speech. A clear sentence is enough. The fourth thing, let people react. This is where most men break. You tell the truth and someone gets uncomfortable, and your instinct is to fix it. Don't. Just let them have their reaction. You're not responsible for managing everyone's emotion. Now, the fifth thing is choose instead of waiting to be chosen. This is a shift. Instead of asking, do they like me? Ask, is this aligned with who I am? That one question will change everything. Now, if this is how you've been living, you're not alone. A lot of men were trained to live this way. Quietly, politely, carefully, but it's costing you more than you think because the life you actually want requires you to stop auditioning for it and start standing in it. You don't need to be chosen by everybody. You need to be grounded in who you are. And from that place, the right people won't have to be convinced. They'll recognize it.